Once I figured out how credit was and how you can literally take 0% interest funding and put that into something and make money off of it and not use any of your money, it was a game changer.
For me, credit would always be king at the end of the day. The most important thing is mindset. That's the foundation. If your mindset is not right, you won't be able to get anywhere.
The biggest thing I picked up from mentorship is when you have a mentor who been through it, who fell, went through the mud, you learn from them and you get to take their confidence and run with it, right? The mindset shift started when I quit. There is no turning back. There is no parachute to save you. When you jump, you're falling. If you work in restaurants and you serve, you're an entrepreneur. So a lot of people are afraid to take that next step.
Yo, what's going on? Back with another podcast. As you guys know, we're going to have this open discussion. I got some heavy hitters in the credit space, right? You guys know, anytime I bring somebody on, anytime I rock with people, they're going to be solid individuals. I got my guy, J Maps, right here with the credit and the funding. What's going on, brother?
All is well, man.
Yes, sir. And then I got my guy, Ali. Been killing it with the credit repair, OG in the game. I'm pretty sure you done seen his ads all around the space. So we're going to have an open discussion today, right? It's going to be credit game, life, entrepreneurship, just being a black young man in America, man, and making money and being able to change lives, but also change our perspectives and impact others as well, man. So I'm going to let J Maps go ahead and introduce yourself, man.
Oh, man. Listen, my name is Jamapi Tapa. Came from the corporate space. Been an entrepreneur for a long time. Just didn't know how to translate it over and get into a winning environment, but extremely happy to be here.
Yes, sir. And then we got my guy Ali, the headhunter when it comes to that credit repair, man.
Everybody favorite African. I mean, my name is Ali. I've been doing credit for about 6 years now. Doing this full time. Started from doing door to door, so eventually fixing credit during COVID, man. So yeah, I'm glad to be here, Sted. Thank you for having me here, bro. And we're gonna have a good time. Let's just say that.
Let's get it, sir. So before we get to the game, man, we got to start with the story, right? Story is important because you got to know where all of us come from before we add value to you. I'm big, especially in this day and age. You got to show people why you qualify to get them information, because nowadays anybody can buy a nice watch or put on a fit and think they're exclusive. So, man, we all just going to explain where we come from, and I'll start with myself. As you guys know, man, I played football my whole life. That's all I cared about was an athlete. Didn't make it to the NFL and was kind of at a point in my life where I wouldn't say I was depressed, but I was going through identity crisis because everybody always knew me for playing football, and I wasn't doing it anymore. Was fortunate enough to get a degree in school with electrical engineering and got a job as an engineer. During that time, didn't really like the engineer grind, but it paid the bills. You know what I'm saying? It paid the bills, and found my first mentor that taught me about business, taught me about credit, and really just took off from there. Once I figured out how credit was and how you can literally take 0% interest funding and put that into something and make money off of it and not use any of your money, it was a game changer. Then I got direct help for somebody that was already in funding at a high level that taught me everything to help me build my company today. So I'll start that out. We'll go to you, J Maps.
Man, that was too good, Sted. Damn, this guy's a train.
I gotta go after him.
Listen, yeah, it's hard to go after him. But listen, my name is Jamapi Tapa again. Started as a 14-year-old packing bags, right? Packing bags, going to supermarkets, packing bags. Always knew that, I had that it factor, right? And it came from obviously struggling growing up. Single mother, one of six, middle child. We welfare stacked, right? We basically had Section 8, we had food stamps, we had EBT, right? So we welfare stacked. It was six of us. But I knew I had to make it, right? When I was in high school, and my mother, she said to me, hey, you and Matthew, I can't take care of you guys for school this year. I can only take care of the younger ones. That's when I knew the best investment was SME, right? The SME 500, right? Like investing into myself. Then I quickly transitioned over to corporate America. But prior to going to corporate America, I worked in restaurants, right? But the beautiful thing about the restaurants, what I learned is obviously the number one thing people consume is food, right? And what I learned is if somebody don't like something, you can tell from their body language. Which helped me transition over to sales. Then I transitioned over to sales in corporate America, worked in the stores in Verizon, right? Worked in the stores and quickly grew through the ranks. First year, won top 10% in sales in the nation in the stores. Then I transitioned over to being an account manager within business, right? The biggest thing I started to see, the biggest bottleneck was a lot of business owners were closing their accounts. And I'm like, why? And it was because of lack of capital. A lot of them didn't have the money. They couldn't afford, the cellular infrastructure. So I already seen that it was a bottleneck there. Then I transitioned over to being a senior account manager in New Jersey, which I won top 10% in sales, went to president's cabinet. Then I became a leader, which I transitioned over to Massachusetts. And when I got there, it was the worst place in the nation. They recruited me from Hawaii. I was in, president's cabinet. They took me to Hawaii. They recruited me. When I transitioned over there, we became number one 4 months in a row, number one in the nation. And what I quickly noticed is that, I had that it factor and I had that, that X factor to just win, that will to win. And when I noticed that, I was like, hey, man, what if I bet on myself and implement that in my day-to-day? So what I did was I invested into mentorship. The biggest thing I picked up from mentorship is borrowed confidence, right? So the beautiful thing about mentorship is when you have a mentor who been through it, who fell, went through the mud, you learn from them and you get to take their confidence and run with it, right? So the beautiful thing is my mentor, he didn't speak to the current me at that moment. He spoke to the future me, right? So a lot of people don't understand the future. So he spoke to the future me, and I quickly grew in the space, right? Because what I did was I implemented my corporate structure in my day-to-day. See, a lot of people don't understand me coming from B2B sales, all I did was prospect. So what I did was I made offers. I made offers every single day, 100 offers. And, I quickly grew through the ranks, and, now we here today.
Sheesh.
Hey, look, we gonna get into that
How
bag.
do I go
That's
after
the
that,
story.
man? How do I go after
Yes,
that,
sir.
man? You know what? Let me run out of here, man. Goddamn, you went crazy. But my story was crazy, man, because my mom got 7 kids. 7 kids. It's 9 of us. It's a huge family. I'm from Senegal, West Africa originally. Like my family's from Senegal, West Africa, but I was born in the U.S. But because I come from a Senegalese background. I always say Senegal. Senegal was born in me. Like, you know what I'm saying? I am like, this is Senegal, bro. Like, I'm born in the U.S., but still the same background, the same history, because my whole family background. So listen, first off, it was hard growing up. It was very tough, because at that time my father went to Senegal. My mom had to raise 7 kids for a while. We grew up with a lot of us, so we had to do what we had to do. So we didn't have everything. But the way it started, this all started during, I was doing door-to-door, by the way. So I was doing door-to-door sales before COVID. I've been doing it for about 5 years. I was good at it too. And it's crazy how I started it, because I always been an entrepreneur spirit. I always had the entrepreneur spirit. Always had it. My father had it. He never liked to work for anybody. So I grew up seeing that. I grew up seeing my father making a lot of money, you know what I mean? Because he was a businessman, but then he went back to Senegal. My mom had to, do what she had to do. Yeah, man, it was crazy, man. 7 kids, door-to-door sales for 5 or 6 years. That's one of the hardest things you could do in America, man. You respect anybody that do door-to-door sales. I met the other guy the other day. He was like, yeah, I do this and I did solar. I was like, yeah, I did door-to-door for 5 years. He said, oh my God, for real? Come here, man. Give me a hug. It's a whole different level of respect, because not too many people could do that. So when you tell somebody you did door-to-door sales, they're like, you did door-to-door what? Wait, you was knocking on people's doors? Oh, hell no. So people look down on you because it's very difficult to do. It's much harder than even cold calling, because if you calling somebody, you could talk to them on the phone. You ain't got to see them. They hang up on you, it's whatever. But in person, it's completely different beast. So I did that for a while. I was great at it. Build up teams. I became like number 1 in the office. Came in, having a personal best, having the best for the week. The way I grew at that is I've always asked people questions, like the people that was the best at what they did, because they was already doing what I wanted to do. I would ask them questions, so they kind of mentored me. Hey, how do you do this? How do you do that? How do you do this? I was asking so many questions. A lot of people are scared to ask questions, but there's no such thing as a dumb question. Fact. The best people ask questions. So I asked so many questions and started implementing it, and it became who I was. And I wanted to quit at a point in time, and I called one of my best friends. I was like, yo, bro, I went to this job, man. Could you believe it, bro? Yo, when they advertised it and they marketed it, it was saying just a marketing job. When I got there, bro, they telling me, let's go out on the field. I said, what you mean we're going out on the field? I thought we were working in the office. I said, no, we going on the field. It's observation day. I said, observation day? Okay, whatever. Paying attention. They took me to the door and started knocking. I said, yo, what are we doing? He said, listen, this is a job, bro. We knocking on doors. I'm like, knocking on doors? Okay. Stood out through the whole thing. at the end, I called my boy. I said, yo, bro, listen, man, that job ain't what it was. What they were saying it is. It's door to door. He said, door to door. I said, yeah, bro. I said, yo, bro, like, I'm about to be out of here, man. Hell no, I'm not going back tomorrow. He said, listen, man, I ain't gonna lie to you, bro. Just stick around, give it a week or two, and you never know how it's gonna go. You never know how it's gonna go. I said, you know what? Let me give it a try. Just give it your all and stay there for 2 weeks. Give it your all, though. I gave it my all, bro. I started breaking records. Started going crazy. I called him. I said, yo, look, my check today is $2,000 this week. He said, what? He said, I knew you would do this, bro. You're a people's person. You could do it. You could do that. I said, yeah, I gave him my all because you told me to give him my all. I started asking everybody questions. I started implementing. I started doing this and that. And then I started moving up. I started training others how to do the same thing. LTD. So you can't teach somebody to do something that you don't know how to do.
Right.
You got to be in the field. You got to get busy. So I started doing that, did it at a high level, had a sales team, make sure everybody make money because you're not a real winner if you're not a real leader if you can't make sure your people are making money. You're only successful as your people around you. 100%. Started making sure everybody had to make money so they could teach others how to do the same thing. And the only way I could do that is to be out in the field with them. So leaders lead from the front, not from the back. So I had to show them how it was, bro. Went crazy, but then COVID happened and everything shut down, bro. So what I had to do is I'm like, damn, but good thing that, I was saving money. I had money, so I didn't get to drown. I wasn't drowning. So then I started learning about, credit and things like that, mentorships. And I started, before paying anybody pay for anything, I started helping out my family and friends and then started becoming good at it and then started to make it a business because other people started referring people to me. I'm like, damn, I can't be doing community service tonight. I'm changing y'all lives, man. Like, I didn't run off on all these bills. Y'all ran off on these bills. Why in the hell I'm over here changing your lives and, for free? I started making it a business, started taking it to the next level and also investing into more and more mentorships. And then just say like 5 or 6 years from then, my business is doing pretty good, man. And so, yeah, man, that's how it all started.
That's amazing. Yeah. That's amazing.
How it started.
And I hope you guys see the commonality between everything. Everybody talked about mentorship some way, shape, or form in their life, right? Why would you sit here and want to struggle if you don't know something, invest in somebody that knows the information to skip the line? You're investing into yourself to pull yourself forward, right? Instead of spending 3-5 years trying to figure things out, you now can get those 3 to 5 years of experience in 3 to 5 months. Imagine how much further you can be in your process when it comes down to it. So I'm glad we all got to tell our story, man. First thing I want to go over with all you guys to get your perspective, because I know we got a lot of people that's going to watch this, people that are more established, people that are trying to start a business, people that are probably going through some discouragement with business, right? How did your mindset transition from, I would say, being in that corporate or that sales background to starting your business in the beginning? And then what was the mindset shift that got you guys to being successful to where you're making, $50,000, $100,000 a month?
All right, I can start with me. The mindset shift was I went on leave from corporate. I went on leave to start the business, and I wanted that safety net. So I was on leave. I was still getting paid, and I started the business. But I would say the mindset shift started when I quit, right? Because there is no turning back. There is no parachute to save you. When you jump, you're falling, right? But the biggest thing I did was I started to implement my corporate structure, my day-to-day into my business, and that's what really built my business. I was like, hey, if this is $1 billion company, right? Verizon's $1 billion company. Why don't I implement their structure in my day-to-day to help me, right? So I started my day off from 9 a.m. prospecting, right? Like I would send 50 DMs on Instagram. Then I would go over to Facebook Market because Instagram would shut me down, right? And then I would go over to Facebook Market now, and I would pretty much, not even Facebook Market, I would go over to Facebook groups, and I'll tell people what I do. So I instantly gained traction that way, right? But it was scary, man. To be honest, I remember when I first started, a lot of people don't know, man, I was sued, right? And it changes your mindset. I almost was like, hey, if I was working a 9 to 5, that wouldn't have happened. But, what comes with, taking those big risks is things can happen, right? So it changed my mindset, man. I was afraid. I was thinking about going back to corporate, but I was like, hey, let me just push through. And, man, started to see 100K months. And man, just now we here today.
That's what it's at.
We was not quitting. That was not happening, bro. Hell no. Because this guy right here is a special individual, bro. Like, very special.
I already know. He puts the work in,
He
man.
puts the work in, man. Yeah. And he's the way he thinks, his brain process is just crazy, man. Oh my God. But for me, my journey was my mindset shifted it actually shifted when I realized that you eat what you kill. You eat what you kill. Like nobody's giving you any handouts. It actually started from I kind of developed that mindset just knocking on doors, bro. You wasn't getting paid a base salary. What you bring home is what you kill at the door. Not literally, shit. Like I ain't kill nobody at the door, but you know what I mean. It's literally what you make from being out in that field and having that quota is what you brought home. That's basically what it was. Like that's all it really was. So that my mindset been developed throughout those years from being outside on the field on the winter days, on the snow days, in blizzards, just having to go out there and do what you got to do no matter what. Because at the end of the day, you had to make that money. You had to still take care of the bills at the end of the day. So I had to go out there, long nights, long hours, even 10 o'clock at night, knocking on doors. Like, listen, sir, I'm sorry. I understand it is late. I apologize, but I just got to finish this up. Oh, okay. I understand it's late. I got to finish my job. You know what I mean? So my mind developed over the years through things like that. But and also through like the entrepreneurs, just educating myself and realizing that me taking on this whole new journey, I had to do what I had to do to take care of my family, to take care of, my mothers, my brothers, my wife and at that my wife, my daughters and things like that. So my mindset had to change, man. And I had to just discipline. You have to be disciplined on your own. Like that's the thing about entrepreneurship. Right. You got to be disciplined. The biggest secret is discipline. That's the biggest secret. Because if you're not disciplined, man, you're gonna fall off because you don't got nobody on top of your back telling you exactly what to do. Hey, wake up at this time and do this and do that. You don't have that. So you got to be your own manager. You have to be disciplined. If you're not disciplined, you're going to fall. And all the most successful people in the industry, one thing that they have in common is discipline. You have to. It's some nights you have to, leave the parties, leave the hanging out, like all them stuff that's not going to really give you anything, hanging out with people that's not going to really talk about nothing, but just sports. Exactly. You had to sacrifice those days, man. You know what I'm saying? To get to where we at now because, without that, we wouldn't be where we at now.
100%.
It's almost like you're getting rid of the old you, right?
You got to get rid of all you.
You got to get rid of the baggage. See, a lot of people don't understand. A lot of people are entrepreneurs and they don't even know it, right? Literally. What happens is they're avoiding their entrepreneurial spirit. So here's the thing, right? Like he said he worked door to door. He didn't get paid hourly. You're an entrepreneur. If you work in sales, you're an entrepreneur. If you work in restaurants and you serve, you're an entrepreneur. So a lot of people are afraid to take that next step because what happens is they're more afraid of letting people down instead of letting themselves down. So what happens is you don't want to bet on yourself, but when you're working for somebody, if you don't do the job, you're letting them down. Does that make sense? Yeah. So a lot of people would put someone else before them. But what happens is you got to find a why, right? And what you got to do is you got to put it on your screen. You got to put it on the screen, whether it's your family, whether it's your mother, your uncle, and do it for them. See, a lot of people don't understand the power and the why. When you tap into that, that's when your life, it goes to another level because it's like it's no looking back. You burn the boats. Burn it.
Literally, it's all on you. And that's what I feel like I did just with my journey as well with mindset, man. One thing I tell people, like, you only change when you hate your situation enough, right? So the reason why most people don't move is because they're too comfortable. They say they want to do something, but they're comfortable. They don't have to do it, right? But when you really hate your situation enough, you're going to force yourself to move. You're going to force yourself to take action. And that's what I feel like I did with a 9-to-5, right? And going back to what you said earlier, like getting a mentor, it gave me borrowed confidence. I saw a lot of myself in my mentors and where I wanted to be. I was crazy. Like I used to tell my cousins and everybody, like, it's dudes out here with $500,000 cars. I've never even seen that in my life. My mom don't even have a $500,000 house. And this person has a car. One car that's $500,000. And it was a burning desire in me to like, that person's not better than me. That person's not doing this. They just know something that I don't know. They done something that I haven't done yet. If they're able to do it, why not me? And that would kind of led me to transition to be able to, you know what I'm saying, get up every day and work towards it. And talking about the discipline, that's a good one as well, man. That's one reason why I work out every day. I work out every day, not because I'm trying to be swole or bodybuilder. It's discipline, right? Because I don't feel like I'm fucking working out every day. I literally had to tell myself, this is what you have to do.
A habit.
Like, it's a habit, just like sales. I'm pretty sure you ain't want to knock on people's doors every day.
Bro.
But you like, it's the standard. The standard is the standard. So we're going to keep this shit pushing.
I don't think y'all understand, bro.
Yeah.
I've been doing this even after doing it for 4 or 5 years. Sometimes I'm in the door, I'm like, you know what? I'm going to go knock on that door. Bro, imagine doing it for 4 or 5 years and literally once you get on that floor, you staying there for about 5 or 10 minutes before you knock on that door. Like that fear of knocking on that door was still there after doing it for so long. Like, it wasn't easy, you feel me? But I knew I had to do it. I had to do it, bro.
Yeah.
I had to. If not, we ain't gonna eat.
100%.
Mm-hmm.
And people just don't realize, man, especially with mindset, like, if people just lock the fuck in, they can beat 99% of other people because there's so many distractions. It's so many things that tell you don't do it, right? We have the internet. Instead of locking in on that mentor, studying that course, reaching out to people, DMs, like how you say you were doing, right? Knocking on doors, staying consistent on that path. They're sitting here distracted on the internet looking at how many likes they got. Who commented, who's doing this, right? They worried about what somebody else got going on instead of actually focusing on the path. So if you just can block things out and hyper focus on your goal, you'll always win in the end. I've never seen somebody that wakes up, works out, that sits here, puts in the time, focus on their craft, and really tries to get better each and every day, not get better. I've never seen somebody that put their all into reaching their goals to not reach their goals. Why? Because the universe, because God is rewarding to those that stay consistent. Am I right or wrong?
100%.
You know what I'm saying? I think a lot of people don't realize that because they see the nice cars, they see us with the watch, they see us doing this, and they think that we just got it overnight. They think that it just happened. And it's like, no, this stuff is to inspire you, not to, you know what I'm saying, shit on you. It's to inspire you, to show you that it can happen to you as well if you put the work in and be consistent at it. You know what I'm saying? And be consistent at it even when people tell you no. And that's why perspectives, mindset, other entrepreneurs, coaches is so great, because you get told 5 no's and you think like the business doesn't work. And it's like, nah, bro, you haven't done enough. You just mentioned doing 50 reach outs a day and then going to another platform, figuring out how can you reach out to more people. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? People want to get in the fund of the day. They talk to 2 people and then and get 2 no's and they like, it don't work. I can't find nobody.
Yeah. It's crazy you say that, right? Because when I tell people too that's coming into the space, people, they get a no and then they shut down. No means next opportunity, right? Sure. And here's the thing, right? Like I see a lot of people, you're right, they're scrolling on Instagram, focus on likes. What you tune into, you turn into. See, a lot of people don't understand that, right? Like they say a focused fool could beat anybody. Right? Like a focused fool can beat anybody. Here's the thing. If you focus on something long enough and you really put the work in, it's no other way. It's no other way that you can't go down. Here's the thing, right? I always tell people, like, I studied both of these guys. They don't know it, you know. I studied Ali for so long and I gave Ali a call. You remember that call, right? I'm like, man, I think I'm about to go in this space. He's like, oh, okay. And I'm like, man, I'm literally going to go in this space. I see you doing your thing with credit repair. I see you giving people awards, right? And I'm like, man, I want to transition over here. Then I studied Sted too, because Sted had this clean image. Like when they say the black Alex Hormozy, it is the truth. It is the black Alex Hormozy, right? Because his image is so clean. I knew it was clean even when I was on a call with the ads team. And they said, Sted, cost per lead is higher than everybody's, but his retention rate is the longest. He was impressed telling me it on the call. And I'm like, I know this about this guy, you know. And I'm somebody, I have no ego. I've paid Sted, right, for mentorship, right, to get more of an understanding on how to properly structure things. I've called Sted and had conversations with him, right, because my mind was stuck on something and I wanted to figure it out. See, a lot of people, what happens is they don't understand their network is their net worth, right? Like they're not utilizing the phone numbers, the phone numbers inside of their phones, right? Like I seen it, I thought about it one morning and I called them. You know, and then we even transitioned to having a conversation about, like, I told him what I was going to get. You know, the car is coming December, by the way. But he's like, yo, man, he's like, a Rose is way more classier. Like, the way he said it, I'm like, this guy's too rich. But it's like, that's, man, you are who you around. You are the last 5 contacts you called in your phone.
100%.
Yeah. Nice. So I study both of you guys. I want y'all to understand
that's
that.
Crazy. That's crazy.
Yeah. I'm like, you know, you ever seen like Kobe? He studied Jordan. Like he was obsessed. I'm obsessed over being a winner. Like I'm obsessed over becoming great. You know what I'm saying? And that's how you take your life to the next level.
Exactly, man. You giving me goosebumps right now because, like, bro, this is the environments and the rooms you want to be in, because to the outside, we're misunderstood. Like when you say you're obsessed with something, people look at it as a bad thing, but you don't understand that being obsession can lead to success, quicker success when it comes down to it. And like you said, studying the greats, studying the 1%, studying Michael Jordan, studying Kobe, right? I seen something from Kobe yesterday. One thing that I do, and this would be a hack for you guys as well, when you're actually in that mode, focusing, whether you're doing work, whatever the case may be, I listen to a bunch of motivational content on YouTube, and it's not like your regular like church or you can do it. I listen to killers. Like I listen to people talk about Kobe, and I heard a story about Kobe, and it stuck with me forever. This dude went into the gym. He got to the gym early. They were about to play that same day. He seen Kobe in there in a full sweat. He got to the gym like 40, the arena early, like 30, 45 minutes early, right? He said Kobe was already in there warming up in a full sweat. He said that he went in there, stretched, did some light, and left, and Kobe was still in there. And he asked Kobe, because he said that same game, Kobe dropped 41 points. He said, bro, like, why are you doing that? He said, why are you still in there? He said, I seen you in there. I knew I couldn't leave. Kobe said he knew that because he came in, he had to stay and go longer. Outwork people. That's all you got to do is outwork the competition. And in this day, it is so easy to outwork people because people are so distracted, bro. People don't want to work. People don't want to face adversity. People want stuff handed to them. So if you're somebody that can put your eye on the prize, set your goals, and work towards them, you're going to win over time, right? It's compound interest. People don't understand every day you wake up and work towards your goal, work towards your purpose, you're closer to your dream life. And that's why I try to tell people all the time, man. It's like, it's not a matter of I would say what, it's just a matter of when. When is it going to happen, right? Because if you're coming in, showing up every day, it will happen. You know what I mean? So that's just one thing, bro. You just literally gave me goosebumps because
he right.
That's the 1% mindset.
He right, because at the end of the day, right, we use a lot of people when you go on, the average person on Instagram is using it as a toy and not a tool.
Fact.
So it's either use Instagram as a toy or it uses you. So what we're doing is we use Instagram as a tool to impact the lives of others, either where we providing financial literacy, you know, fixing somebody's credit, or even getting them access to funding for their business. No matter what it is, we're using it as a tool, not as just a game. Obviously, sometimes we got to mix it up and show people some entertainment because, you know, it is social media. Like, people want to be entertained, but then also mix in some education with that. And it's great that you're talking about even like giving Stedman his flowers. Like I gave Stedman his flowers at the time. Man, I'm not a problem. It's not a problem for me to ever give people their flowers, because when you really give them their flowers, it encouraged them to say, you know what, this is what I was doing it for, and somebody is telling me like, hey, what you've done impacted my life, and that's something that you did. Like, that's why for me, I've always watched you, and I've always paid attention to it as well, and that's why whenever we spoke, I'm like, oh, Sted, oh, he valid, he's stamped. Oh, Sted is good. Sted is valid. Like, he's good. You know what I mean? Because people pay attention to your character, how you act. So for me to ever pay Sted, like, even I did, it was never really an issue because I paid attention. I know how hard you work. People will pay attention to the way that people work. So you got to lead by example. Like, in general, like, you have to lead by example. Because if you want somebody to follow your footsteps, obviously you got to do what you got to do. They're going to watch you and see how you're moving. They're going to pay attention. Nobody's going to spend money on you if you're not somebody that they want to become in the future. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So you got to be able to put in that work and transform yourself. And the most important thing is mindset. I'm going to talk to you guys on the camera right now. Mindset is the most important thing. That's the foundation. If your mindset is not right, you won't be able to get anywhere. You have to be able to shift that mindset. You have to. It's a must. That's the only way. That's the most important thing. It's the foundation. Before you get anywhere else, that mindset got to change. Even when I'm fixing clients' credit, I tell them, listen, if your mindset is not right, if your mentality is not right, you know, you're not going to, and you're going to continue to do the bad things that put you in a bad credit situation in the first place, please don't come. We don't want your money. We're not accepting anybody.
Fact.
Because at the end of the day, it's a two-way street. We're not going to accept you, and a few months later, you say, oh, my God, my credit score dropped. Because you're still doing the same thing that you were doing. How are you going to break that habit and get to the next level if you're not, how are you going to get to the next level if you're not trying to break the habit that you do have?
Exactly.
People don't hold accountability, bro. It's crazy. Yeah. But the mindset is everything. Everything you're trying to do, shift your mindset, change your mindset, read books, listen to audios like how you said, you know, YouTube videos, shift that mindset first. That's the foundation. If not, everything is going to crumble.
Yo, it's crazy you say that, right? I like how he said, you know, read books, right? People don't understand what 6 months can do for you, right? Let's say, for instance, right, if you read 10 pages a day for 6 months, that's 1,800 pages. That's roughly 6 or 7 books. You don't think you would be a master in your space if you read 6 or 7 books? So a lot of people don't understand, like, they underestimate time and how you can really take advantage of time. See, here's the thing. I wasn't in the space long, right? But I've had that entrepreneurial spirit for a long time. So I only been in the space 8 months, you know,
oh my God,
8-9 months. But last month I was able to generate almost 142K.
Let's get it.
And it's crazy for me. for me, it's more of, man, it was no plan B. It was a mentality change, man. I studied people that were better than me, and I constantly study people that's better than me. And the mindset is everything. See, the thing is, people want to operate in greatness when they want to. No, you have to operate in greatness the full time. There is no turning it off. Like I'm making offers to this day. Like we were walking. I mean, we were in the cab. I'm over there. I just sent somebody a quote, and I want people to understand, like, you can't say, hey, it's sunny today, I'm gonna work on my business today. No, it's every single day. Every single day. Even if you work a 9 to 5, your 5 to 9 is how you make your life. Your 9 to 5 is how you make your living.
100%.
And then your 9 to 5 is your business partner. A lot of people don't understand. You're gonna leverage that money from your 9 to 5 to move it over to your 5 to 9. See, a lot of people are working for employment, right? We need to be working for deployment, right? To what is our next plan? Because here's the thing, right? The retirement age is going up. I mean, the people are not retiring no more, but they're raising the retirement age because guess what? People are not retiring no more. So what are we going to do, right? We have to start to invest in ourselves. Everybody has that entrepreneurial spirit knocking on the door somewhere. And if not, you're going to develop it along the way as you pick up skills.
100%. What would you say, what was the thing that kind of got you out of the 9 to 5, right? I could probably talk to it, then I'll let you talk to it. One was like, and then let's talk about what that actually looks like. I know the people, they don't just want to hear what it was, but how did you actually implement those things? With me, first and foremost, and it's probably going to be similar, time management, right? Time management was the number one most important thing. And I started off in credit repair, just like Ali, right? So what I was doing while working a 9 to 5, man, I would actually wake up at 4 a.m. I would wake up at 4 a.m. to get my disputes ready to mail out. I would literally stop at the post office to drop off disputes, then go to work. You know what I'm saying? During my lunch breaks, when I was trying to get into funding, I was connecting with realtors, going to different things. You know what I'm saying? During my lunch break. And then once I clocked out, I lived in Atlanta, bro. You know, Atlanta traffic, horrible. Instead of spending that hour in traffic, I'm like, nah, I'm going to just stay at the office later. I'll bring my personal laptop and I'll be listening to, you know what I'm saying? Listening to course material, going through implementing strategy. So I just really maximize my time, and it all starts just from time blocking. Like I tell people all the time, if you don't have a calendar, you don't have structure. You got to have a calendar because you got to be able to put time and be, you know what I'm saying, and purposeful about it, right? If you put something on the calendar, during this time I'm doing this, during this time I'm working out, so that you can have that structure, right? And then from there, it was just executing daily, having that obsession and not being discouraged, man. So what would you say was your strategy?
Ooh, mine was a little different, right? The reason why I transitioned, right? Man, so obviously I transitioned over to Massachusetts as a sales leader. I was a senior manager in Massachusetts, and obviously the culture was already terrible. It was the worst place in the nation. And then I quickly noticed why. It was the leader. Like, people don't quit jobs because of the company. They quit because of your leader, right? So I had this leader, man. I'm not going to say her name, but she was horrible. And I noticed it instantly, but I'm like, I can get through it for a year and I'm going to get promoted and leave out. But I couldn't take it, man. I was like, all right, cool. What do I have to do? I'm like, man, I got to invest in mentorship as soon as possible. But here's the thing, like any average American, I didn't have a savings account. So what I did was I went into my 401k, man. I went into my 401k, I took out $18,000 and I studied everybody in the market. I sat down, I studied all of these guys, all, you name it. And man, I was like, man, who stamped enough for me? Like, who stamped, and I invested into the person I invested into, right? But man, it was a terrible leader. She was a terrible leader. That's what it was for me. That was a defining factor of me leaving corporate America. I was like, man, if I stay with her, I'm changing as a person. Me, I'm usually joyful. I'm cool. I come in, I light the room up. We have a good time. And anybody who worked under me, I pour into. So when they first come in and they transition over to me, if they're promoted or they're promoted to me or I hired them, I take them to lunch and I give them the rundown. Hey, man, don't lie to me. If you need to take off, just let me know. Corporate America, just let me know. I'm not clocking you or nothing, but just be honest with me. And your goal is to always exceed. Like, we run through the wall. We don't get to the finish line and slow down. Like, we give 100% every month, because that's what I did, right? And I quickly just noticed, man. With her, she started to change me as a person. Once I started to change, like, when I wasn't fully engaged in the people under me, I was like, okay, if I can't fully commit to something, I can't do it at all. So I was like, all right, cool, man. Let me start to take myself out of the equation and start to invest more into myself. But yeah, that's what it was for me. Terrible leader.
I feel it.
Horrible leader.
What about you, man?
I mean, leadership. Yeah, that's a good one that you were saying. I ain't gonna lie.
He's horrible.
Because I'm even thinking about times too. I had not necessarily having a bad leader, but I mean, I was working with a lot of bad leaders, to be honest, though. I was working with a lot of bad leaders, to be for real, man. And it was so bad that, I would have some of their people that they're training try to come on work with me. You know what I'm saying? I'm working alongside them, but just the characteristics and everything like that, I had a lot of them trying to work with like their students. Ali, can I work with you? Like, is it okay? I'm like, what you mean? Could you work with me? You trying to get me in some trouble? Yeah, man, I like how you work and I like this and that. I like that everybody in your team is making money, Like all these guys, this guy made $1,000, this guy made $1,000, this guy made $1,000. Everybody's making money, man. I've been here for 3-4 weeks. I ain't make $1, man. My wife is telling me like, yo, don't come home if you ain't making no money. I'm like, yo, you for real? Like, yo, my wife is saying, do not come home, man. Like, it's tough, man. Like, like, let me know what to do. Like, Ali, how can I work with you? I'm like, bro, listen, you got to talk to the big manager, the owner of the company and talk to him. I just can't do that, bro. You know what I'm saying? So, leadership is extremely key, man. And that's one of the big things, because at the end of the day, if you can't show others how to make money and feed their family, bro, then what they're here for community service, bro. Like, it's tough as hell, bro. Especially, like I was saying, doing what I was doing. You bringing somebody to a whole other world where they ain't used to that. They used to 9 to 5. They used to, working a set amount of time and getting paid hourly. But now when you're bringing them into that transition, it's a whole nother ball game, man. Man, I got a story for days, bro. Y'all be here crying. I got a story for days, bro. I'm telling you, man. I got people in the goddamn. I had people first day take them out for training. Come, let me show you what's going on. Sometimes like what they did to me, I couldn't really tell people what they do. I'm like, yeah, just come out to the field. You good, man? Just come with me, man. Because if somebody hears it before anything, their mindset shifts automatically. And it's like, wait, they start thinking all types of scenarios. Like, oh hell, this guy try to get me killed on my job, bro. Like, we're not doing that. So I'll bring somebody on the field, bro. The first day, bro, I'm telling you, man, somebody be like, when somebody typically say, yo, I got to go to the bathroom, you like, okay. When somebody told me I had to go to the bathroom, I ain't seen him again after that.
Hey, go.
Yeah.
Now, I want to switch over on a hot take real quick, right? So this has been kind of controversial in our space, but we got a bunch of people in different spaces, right? So Ali, credit repair, me, I started in credit repair and funding. Obviously, J Maps funding. What's better? What's a better business model? Credit repair or funding? We got to bring it up. Right? What's a better business model? Credit repair or funding? And I want you to talk from two perspectives. You can talk from the short game, like somebody just trying to get into a business, and then long game over time. Like, well, what do you think is a better? And tell me why. You start off first.
All right, so from the short game, I will always say credit repair, right? And this is funny saying this from me, right? But I would say credit repair. Why? Because you build a funnel, right? You're growing a client, right? So one thing I listen to Myron Golden say is you should have, there's 4 steps to making $128K a month, right? And it's basically leads. You got to have leads. You got to be able to close leads. Then you have your offer, which is credit repair. And you have a premium value offer, which you can graduate them to funding, right? So a lot of people don't understand that you're building a funnel when you start in credit repair. Also, you're understanding now different profiles that come at you and how to dispute it. So it positions you for funding. But I'm biased when it comes to funding. I think if we're talking all around, from somebody who's starting credit repair, but all around funding is better, right? Because I'll tell you this. I can go over to American Express, right?
We already are.
And fund somebody, make $6,000 with them in a half an hour, right? And then, they go on their way. They're on to, making their investments, doing what they have to do. Versus having someone pay me $9.99, right, and them staying with me for 9 months, right? Like, I don't want to babysit. I prefer to take the client along their journey right then and there, and so it's an effective solution for them to go and invest into themselves. So I would say I'm biased. Funding for sure, I think, is a better business model in general, but credit repair helps you build that funnel.
Facts. Now we got to ask my guy Ali, man.
Yeah, I got to ask me, right? Yeah, Let's just say, without credit, there's no funding. Let's say that. Credit is the foundation. Without the root of the tree, there's no tree. credit is literally the foundation. You gotta have that. You gotta have the credibility. Because at the end of the day, if you don't know how to manage the credit, how could you manage the money? You can't. How could you manage the money if you can't manage that?
You ain't even getting the money.
You ain't
even getting the money if you ain't got the credit.
You're not getting no money. You're not getting no money. You're gonna be crying.
Say this though. All right, we understand that, but what's the better business model?
Yeah,
No, listen. The more attractive business model.
Nah. Answer my guy question. What's the better business model? I gotta cut him off.
Look at it. He biased too. You see, they jumping me. They just jumping me, man. You gonna help me? They jumping me. So listen, right? The better business model, I would say, it probably. I mean, the more attractive business model is funded. Let's say that. It's more attractive to everybody because everybody's like, you know what? I want the money. But you can't handle the money because nobody wants to give you the money because you ain't been handling money the right way in the first place. That's the problem. So the most important thing, guys, like I always tell people, the credit got to be right. Because think about it, right? How can somebody lend you $100,000 or even $50,000, even $10,000 if you haven't even paid out $1,000 or $200 from these other companies? So Verizon, T-Mobile, the loan company you were with, everybody say you owe them. Why would this company right here allow you to get money to fund your business when you can't even pay back these little small companies? It shows that you're not trustworthy. It shows that the clients is not trustworthy. They can't pay anything back. So imagine somebody coming to you ask you for money, but they owe everybody else money. You gonna be like, nah, man, I'm good, bro. Like, listen, I ain't got it right now, man. You gonna give them an excuse because you like I tell people now, yo, before you give somebody money, ask them to see their credit. I bet you change their mind. Bro, ask them to show you their credit report. Yeah. Say, yo, let me see your credit report before I lend you this money. And I bet you if you see their credit report, you see that they owe 100 other companies, you ain't gonna give it to them. But if you've seen that person been paying back everybody, everything is on green, everything is always paid on time, what you think they most likely gonna do? They're gonna pay you. But credit is the foundation because at the end of the day, you need it. You can't skip that. So credit would always be king at the end of the day. It don't matter. The money is attractive. It's good. You got the business funding. You got $100,000. You got this. But if you don't have the discipline from credit, if you didn't start off from that foundation, if that's not rooted in you, then you can't do anything with the money. You're going to crash out and you're going to burn. So credit is everything, and credit will always win. The funding is more attractive. That's true. It's more attractive. But the credit is everything, bro. You can never beat that. Because you got to go through that.
So credit is the better business model. That's what you're saying.
He going around it. He going around it.
Because I know credit is in your heart, and you keep going to credit. But what's the better business model?
Credit is I mean, credit is the more headache business model. That's true.
Yeah.
It comes with a lot of headaches because when you take people money, you take their problems. You know what I mean? It's a lot of headache that come with it. It definitely builds you as a person, especially if you're fixing these guys' credit. But the more attractive business model, let's. You
don't want to say
it. Yeah, listen. Nah. Now I'm just gonna be straight up. Nah, all jokes aside, for real, the better business model, financial wise, is funding. It's the truth.
Gotcha.
It's the truth.
I'm gonna give y'all perspective, man. I'm gonna give y'all perspective. So I started off in credit repair. Got it to where at one point I had up to 375 clients actively doing credit repair. I had like 6 VAs, you know what I'm saying? So I was doing that at a pretty decent level, right? Nothing crazy, but at a decent level. And I literally, that model was like stressful to me personally. You make a lot of money. It's the easy thing to get clients, but you got to understand sometimes the target audience, not always, but sometimes the target audience that has bad credit is usually a lesser quality person sometimes, and they don't understand. You got to understand with credit. I didn't get this repo on your credit. I didn't make you default. I didn't make you not pay your student loans or whatever. I'm trying to help you. Like the value that I'm providing to you is more than the $99 a month. You spend it with me, just being honest with you, right? So with that and then compliances, being licensed and bonded and different things like that, it got me to where like I was actually sending deals to funding companies. Let's say I charge somebody $1,000 for credit repair, right? It takes me 12 months to fix their credit. I would then send that referral to a funding company. They fund them and they sending me $1,000 in commission. I'm like, dude, it's been 2 weeks and you sending me $1,000 just off a referral commission? And I'm like, okay, I'm in the wrong business. And that's why I transitioned over. So I literally, and then with credit repair, it's a sticky business. You can't just say, okay, I'm done taking credit because you still have clients you got to fulfill on. I had to strategically, so I still was making money. I had to stop accepting clients and work on the ones that we were taking. And then when we got to where like people were like 80% done, 90% done. I'll just give them a refund for whatever we didn't get done to get more into funding. But when it comes to a business model, I believe wholeheartedly credit repair is the better business model in the beginning because it's easier to come across clients. It does make you very understanding of credit profiles, what to look for, right? Building out credit is great for that, right? But for the long game, if you're looking to scale, I didn't make 7 figures in credit repair. I made 7 figures in funding. Funding is a higher leverage opportunity.
That's true.
One, because you're selling money. You're selling money. The value is already there. People already see the value in the money. That's one thing, right? Two, the margins, the profit margins we have. It's ridiculous. You telling me you get somebody $100,000, and we can talk about funding here a little bit, but you're talking about getting somebody $100,000 and making $10,000 in commission. And that could be one person. That could be one person, right? And then if you get into the alternative lending space, you're talking about closing deals, even if it's quicker. It's quicker. You get 1, 2K here, 3K here. That stuff adds up. So I feel like as a overall better business model, it's going to be funding for the longevity, the scalability, because with funding, the way you scale is by implementing more systems, hiring more reps. With credit repair, the fulfillment is the bottleneck. Like you can come up with strategies. There's ways to fix credit, but it's only so many things you can do. And at the end of the day, like credit is credit. It's either going to be removed or not. Sometimes it takes time. But with funding, you can map out the fulfillment more so than with credit repair itself. Does that make sense?
Faster money, credit repair. But the more money you're making funding and less headache too.
Yeah.
Let's talk about the headaches, man. The headaches is, bro.
But that makes you a good business owner, and that's why like I don't like shit on credit repair too much because like you got to do the dog work. You got to understand before you get into funding, right? And I think a lot of people that just jump straight into funding that know nothing about credit, that's usually the toughest work because it's like you don't even know what utilization is. You don't know what late payments is. You don't know what comparables are. You know what I'm saying? You don't know how a profile should be structured. Like you just hear no doc funding, you think you can take everybody to Chase and they get approved 50,000. And that's not, but a lot of people do, but that's not everybody. You still got to understand comparables, relationships and stuff like that. But if you come from that credit repair space, you're already prepped and keen for those things. You know what it looks like to build a profile out. You may not know the business side of it, right? But you know on the personal side what needs to be removed, you know, late payments and what a profile needs to look like that to be able to come fundable. You know what I mean?
Yeah. That's why I said it. Yeah, it's like you're building a funnel, and for somebody who's starting in this space, credit repair is an amazing place to start.
Oh yeah.
It's an amazing place to start because you understand their profiles, and then when you do graduate them to funding, you already see what relationships they have. Those are the low-hanging fruit you're going to go to first, the relationships they currently have, right? So a lot of people don't speak about relationships and how to leverage those relationships, right? So the number one thing you want to do is look at a person's credit profile, and that's the first places you want to go to before you go anywhere. You want to go to who they already have a relationship with. So, yeah.
Exactly, man.
Can't have one without the other.
100%.
Peanut butter and jelly.
Yeah, you're right. That's why, you can offer both. I tell people all the time, you want to get into the funding space, have a downsell of credit repair because you're going to get people that are unqualified that unfortunately, we can't help you with funding. However, we have a downsell of credit repair and then ascend them back up. You can build your client. Literally what he said, you can build your client up to be able to get in the funding client. You double dip at that point. You get, you know what I'm saying? You make money twice. Or if you're in the alternative lending space, let's say you come across a business owner. They got a low credit score, but they're making revenue. You can fund them, MCA, whatever the case may be. And then you can still offer credit repair so that when their credit is fixed, they can get a better rate next time and then credit card stack them at the end of it. So you can triple dip if you understand how to do these things when it comes down to it. But, man, I want to get down to the marketing, bro. I want to get down to the marketing, man. What is you guys' top ways? If I'm brand new in the space, trying to get into credit repair or funding, and I know there's going to be a big question people always ask, what are some of the top marketing strategies that you implement to be able to, that you see help you get clients?
All right, that's good. That's good.
Let's start budget friendly first. Budget friendly.
Okay.
Budget friendly.
Top marketing, again, DMing offers, right? Reaching out to credit repair companies, right? Because they have a lot of credit repair companies don't do funding. So I would DM credit repair companies, hey, you want to make an extra $5,000 to $10,000 a month? Refer your clients over to me. I help. Also, too, Facebook groups, man. A lot of Facebook groups. I would say you can go to credit repair groups, dispute groups in Facebook. You can also go to entrepreneurial groups and just come in there and say, hey, my name is Jamapi Tapa. I help entrepreneurs gain access to capital. Tell me what your goals are, right? So you can build an engagement, right? Once you build that engagement, I would also say partnerships. Partnerships is probably the biggest one that's really cost friendly, right? Reaching out to coaches in the space. A lot of people don't know you can reach out to coaches in the space. The number one bottleneck for coaches in the space is a lot of their clients can't pay for the coaching.
Yeah.
So what do we do, right? A lot of people, what they do is they go over to like fan bases and then they go through Klarna, they go through Afterpay. But guess what? Klarna Afterpay, it's not 0% interest. Now you can help a client get them a 0% interest card where they can invest in coaching. Now you're helping them elevate, right? I would say another thing you can do as well is I would say, man, start engaging, like just engage under people posts showing support. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter who you are in the space, right? Like it can be somebody just starting out. Their bottleneck may be funding. Their bottleneck may be credit repair. It doesn't matter, right? Somebody may be in funding but don't do credit repair. Somebody may be in funding but in credit repair but may not do funding. Those are the people you want to reach out to and just see how you can add support. But those are free ways, right? But if we go into like a little bit, if you're putting up a little bit of budget, then man, this guy, he taught me Google Ads, right? I think Google Ads has been the biggest game changer. Like you seen, I just got a payment this month and I showed you and he was like, whoa.
I was like,
but Google Ads, man, elevated my business to another level. Google Ads. And it's because of you. I jumped on one of your calls one night and I listened in and I'm like, damn, Google Ads? Damn, merchant cash advance. I'm like, And I implemented all of those things into my business. But Google Ads is definitely a game changer because what happens is the client has intent. They're searching on Google for that solution. And what happens is if you have a good SEO and you have, a good Google ad, they're going to come to you. Right. Exactly. So, yeah.
That's game changer, bro. That's where it's at. You gave a lot of game, bro. I hope y'all don't overlook that. It's a lot of game he gave. Now I'm gonna go to my guy Ali, man. So for people in the credit repair space, looking to get in the credit repair space, what are some good marketing strategies? Talk from like I said, a budget friendly, and then maybe some more advanced.
I'm gonna start off with saying what I used to do when I first started, man. When I first started, I never seen it. I haven't seen this been done at all. I had a table campaign. I had the table. I had my logo and everything, and I had my agents out in the street of Harlem, like in New York, Harlem. And what we were doing is we had the table set up, and we were signing people up in person, like for credit repair, like because you ain't have to pay for ads, you ain't have to pay for anything. Hey, how you doing? What's going on? What's your credit? You're trying to clean up your credit. We did get a few signups from that. It didn't cost us anything, and that's something that a lot of people didn't do. They don't do. Everybody's on the internet, but who's speaking to the person? Who's speaking to those in person? A lot of people are not on the internet. A lot of older people are not on the internet, but they still need the help. Right. So setting up table campaigns outside, speaking to the people, and also it builds that trust factor because people are able to see you and feel you. Some people are not giving money to people online. They're like, man, I don't know you. Like, I don't know. Y'all don't know what you're going to do with me. But when you speak to somebody in person, it gives a different level of respect level and also give that trust factor because they can see you in the flesh. And then they're going to know that you're going to show up the next day too as well. You're going to be there every other day. You're not going anywhere. So that's one way you can do it, but I don't see a lot of people do it. So that helped a lot with credit repair. I got a lot of clients from that. Now, another way is you can build relationship with like realtors because you know that their clients need to get their credit cleaned up. You got to build relationship with realtors. But you got to make sure that you fulfill and you deliver. You have to deliver because at the end of the day, if you're not getting the client's results, then they're going to look for somebody else. That's it. People at the car dealerships, build relationships with them. Build relationships with different communities, like you just said. You can speak in different communities because a lot of your clients need to get their credit cleaned up so they can do what they got to do. So real estate communities, solar, anything that clients need to get their credit cleaned up, you build relationship with those individuals. They're going to send clients to you all the time. And then what you do, you just got to deliver and make sure that you communicate with them and, get them back to them so they can then provide them with that service that they need to provide them with. So once you're always doing that, you're going to always continue to have that relationship because now you're not spending on that marketing. That's free. They're doing the marketing for you. They're doing all the marketing for you. You're just delivering on the services. And also, too, that client is most likely going to pay when you do that because they're coming from a trusted factor. That person already built that relationship. So you're not going to recommend somebody to somebody that you don't rock with. That person never, like most clients do. And also, too, referral is another thing, guys. Referral is another big thing. Because if you're delivering and you're providing services and you're providing results to that client, whether it's funding or credit repair, They're going to tell their sister, they're going to tell their brothers, they're going to tell their family, they're going to tell many people of you. They're going to be a person that's going to be referring people for life. Because whenever that subject come through, hey, go to my guy Ali. Ali, he did this for me. He did this for you, for real? And I trust you. You my guy. I'm rocking with him. So when they come to you, they already to pay. They just say, hey, send the invoice. Like, let's go. How much I got to pay? You ain't got to vet them out. They're ready to pay already. So those are other free ways. And you can also go into different like live communities, live events, speak to many people at once. You know, a lot of times they're going to ask you some Q&As, but they're going to want to sign up right after because they ask you the question they need to ask you. So those are just many free ways, right? Now let's go to the pay ways. Pay ways, visibility, beatability. So sometimes you got to spend that money. You got to spend that money on ads. You got McDonald's. You got all these other big companies. You got Apple. Everybody knows Apple. Majority of the people in the world has an Apple phone or have a Samsung phone. Why are these companies still advertising? Everybody knows them. Why are they still spending money on marketing? And they're big. They're huge. Why can't we do the same thing? Who are we to say, hey, I'm not going to spend money on ads and I'm not going to spend money for hundreds of people to see me? It's a numbers game. The people got to see you. Obviously, so if you know that you're running ads, spending $20 a day or even, you know, to the point that you'll get up to $50. Right now, my ad spend is probably about $200 a day because I know it works. You got to spend the money, but more money is going to come in because I realized that, hey, every time this many people see my credit ads, this many people is coming in and signing up. So you can't be scared to spend the money and put money back into the business after you are making that money. But the ads are going to work. But guys, the foundation is to always focus on getting the free, building out those relationships, having those guys always send people to you. But then also don't be scared of spending money on ads and getting that proper visibility because visibility is key, guys, when it comes to this.
100%.
That was good. That was a lot of game.
It was, bro.
Sheesh,
I had to watch this back.
Oh, man.
So with me, man, I like to break down marketing into two things, like time and money, right?
Mm-hmm.
You either gonna, if you don't have any money to put into marketing, you're gonna spend a lot of time. That means effort, right? If you do have money, if you do have a marketing budget, you're gonna spend your way to success, right? A lot of us are always gonna start with time. And what I would do with time is similar to what you talked about. Cold outreach is a really, really good one, right? Cold outreach, being able to reach out to other people, do more offers, like you said. One thing that was game changer for me that actually helped me get my first 50K month was actually reaching out to a business coach and then doing an actual presentation for his community. It was a real estate coach. I literally did a presentation and it was titled How to Increase Your Real Estate Portfolio with 0% Interest Funding. I did a 40-minute presentation and then I gave a call to action saying, hey, if you're somebody that wants to get access to capital to increase your real estate portfolio and you don't want to make the mistakes or, waste time, work with me and my team to get that done. We got about 10 book calls and my team closed 4 of those people and that led me to my first 50K month, right? But what happens, which is game changer, is we got to understand digital real estate. People don't understand digital real estate. When you do something valuable and it's a coaching program or it's a community, it stays in that community forever. So if you provide that coach with a link or you have a QR code during your presentation, any new mentee, any new student that joins that person's program, the next thing they want is how can I get more money to fulfill whatever this thing is. They're going to go to your presentation. They're going to go to your video, which now you're able to consistently get book calls outside of just the one main live one that you did, right? So that helped me get my first 50K month. So one thing you guys can do is always lead with value. And as you guys know, I always try to lead with value. That's the best way to position yourself to always be relevant and have clients coming through, right? That's one. Another one, if you're more of an in-person person, you're not really big on the digital space, I recommend being online, but if not, it's okay, right? You just got to do more, like in your community. Like with funding, we talked about the profit margins are insane, so you don't have to work with many people to really have a good month, right? You can go to your local chamber of commerce, right? Local chamber of commerce, meet the business owners near you, and then once you fund one person, talking more about referrals, affiliates, being able to get them to send you more people, because business owners know other business owners, right? And all of that's completely free. You literally can make a presentation. It'll probably take you a few hours to do it, but you can do that presentation for every single coach you come across. And just being out there talking to people is another free way to be able to get leads, right? And then when we go to paid, like my guy said, the Google Ads is where it's at, right? Google Ads is definitely where it's at. That pay for click, being optimized, because like you said, when people are searching something on Google, they have intent. They want those things compared to Meta, right? And then one thing that I recently started doing that's actually been helping me is sponsoring events. Like I'll sponsor some of the Chamber of Commerce events, and what that creates is brand credibility, right? It's not so much of me actually going and telling everybody I do funding, but when they see where this capital sponsors this event, and it's an event full of business owners, people ask, what is that? What does that person do? What does this do? And now it's like another talking, you know what I'm saying, opportunity where you can say, hey, we provide working capital to small business owners. You a business owner? No shit. You need funding, right? I got you. You know what I mean? So just different things like that you can start to implement to kind of build. And like you said, if the major companies are spending like Apple and Samsung and everybody knows them, why aren't we as business owners? Why do we feel like because we make money, we're entitled to keep all of it? Nah, best practice is to always put 30% of your total revenue for that month back into marketing, right? To be able to continue to bring business in, because we all know, and I know you guys can agree, if you don't know how to market, you don't have a business.
You don't got nothing.
You don't got nothing. You know what I'm saying? So that's just one thing I want to go from there. Now I want to ask you guys, man. I want you guys to talk to your younger selves before we wrap this up, man. I know we gave a lot of game on to wrap this up, but I know when I watch podcasts like this, I got inspired. I got a lot of information, but I want us to talk to the younger versions of ourselves that's watching this. That's the next J Maps. That's the next Sted. That's the next Ali. Like, what's some words of encouragement, or what's something you would tell them to do or stay down when it comes down to it? What you got, man? I'll start with you.
Start with me?
Yeah.
All right, cool. I'm gonna look at the camera for this one, right? First thing I would say is, man, don't avoid that feeling, right? Don't ignore that feeling in your heart, right? So I would say if you're feeling something, it's for a reason. I would say commit. It's going to be scary, but I'll tell you, commit. The best way to do it is to commit scared, right? And I would say for the average person that's coming up right now, right, man, leverage the job that you work for, man. Leverage the money that's coming in. Try not to jump fully into, entrepreneurship, because to be honest, 90% of people fail, right? So I would say to you, just fully commit, do it scared, and man, really just take your life to the next level. How you going to take your life to the next level is being around the people who have the lifestyle you want. Invest into mentorship, right? Because if they don't know you, they can't flow you, right? And what matters most is being visible, right? Visibility beats ability. See, here's the thing, right? When I invested into mentorship, I wanted my mentor to know me, man. Like, so I would write them and say, hey, I made this amount of offers. I did this, I did that. But what it did was it built a momentum train for me to be better than everybody that was in my space, right? To be better than everybody that was doing what I was doing at that moment. So I would tell you, being around other people, right, matters, right? Get into those communities and those environments where you have like-minded individuals, because it's very important, because it's going to help you build momentum. It's going to give you borrowed confidence, and you'll be able to take your life to the next level, for sure.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, well said, man. What I would say for those individuals is definitely want to. What I would say to those individuals, right, is you definitely want to educate yourself. Educate yourself, get with the right mentors, surround yourself with the right people. It's extremely important. You got to surround yourself with the right people, because at the end of the day, if, like they say, you're surrounded by 10 rich people, millionaires, you're bound to be the next one. You got to surround yourself around the right people, because at the end of the day, it's the conversations that people are talking about. You never know. It's get in the right rooms, get in rooms with entrepreneurs, get in rooms with people that you're looking to be like. Because they're going to give you certain information, and information is what's going to change your currency. It's going to change your current situation. You have to. If you're not doing that, you're basically, you're delaying your process, and you're not going to really get anywhere. So if you want to expedite the process, read, learn from courses, take mentorship, even if you got to pay somebody, because you're paying for somebody for their time and their expertise. It's not a bill. It's not an expense. People look at it like, oh, but it's a bill. It's not a bill. You're investing into yourself. And also, that's a write-off, too, at the end of the day. So if you're not doing that, the government is going to take it. The government ain't even work with you. Like, the government is going to take your money. So why not pay it back? Why not pay it to somebody and change the way that we look at it? Because, we look at it like, oh, it's an expense. But we're paying for so many other things that don't matter at the end of the day. It's so many things we wasted money on that we never got a return on investment, or we never learned from it. And that thing that we bought, after a few weeks or a few months, it doesn't mean anything to you. So why not spend money on something that's going to change you and change your life and change your family life at the end of the day? Because your why is your family. You know, you want to put your family in the best situation. You got to put yourself in the best situation. You got to change who you are. You can't be that same person that you were in the past. The only way to change who you are now is to become somebody that you want to be. And the only way to do that is surround yourself with those individuals. It's going to change your mindset. And even when you go hang out with the other individuals you used to hang out with that's talking about some nonsense, you're going to feel so uncomfortable. It's like, okay, what am I gaining from this? I'm not gaining nothing from this. When the past conversation I had with many other people, I learned from it and I was able to implement it and do something about it. But I'm talking to people that's not getting me nowhere. It's not making any sense. Time is the only thing we can't get back. It's the biggest asset. Why waste it? When you're in your 20s and you're in your 30s, why waste it? We're not getting any younger. So guys, learn from mentors. Change the way we think of paying somebody. It's crazy, believe it or not. I've paid, like, if you asked me like a few years ago, like, Ali, hey, this guy mentorship, like, you know, it costs, like, my first time getting a mentorship, man, I'm not going to advise it, but I'm going to be real because, you know, we're in a podcast. I split the bill with somebody. I'm like, listen, man, you spending this, you spending this. I'm going to spend half on you. I'm going to spend half, you spend half when we get in there. But then after that, I got the proper information. I started implementing and realized that I started making money. Now it's not a problem for me to spend the full amount. When somebody say, hey, my mentorship is $5,000 or it's $10,000, you know, because I know it's value behind that, I pay it. Because that one thing that you get from that mentorship or that two things that change your life and allow you to make 6 figures or whatever and more, 5 figures a month, whatever you want to make, it's completely worth it. Like I don't have a problem spending money on an invoice now for mentorship because it changed my mindset after spending a few times. So guys, change your mindset completely and don't be scared to invest. It's going to change your current situation. Yeah. I promise you that, but you got to be willing to put in the work in. Yeah. That's all.
Yes, sir.
I want to say one more thing too before I get to you because I know you're going to come.
Yeah.
Powerful, right?
You ready?
Man, the power is in now, right? No opportunities wasted. I want to tell them, right? So my little sister, she lived in Atlanta, right? And I moved to Atlanta, but me being so driven, I'm like, man, you know, I can hold off from seeing her. You know, I can hold off from, you know, calling her and hanging out with her, right? And man, I just was grinding. But guess what? She passed away. So, you know, she passed away because I thought I had time. See, a lot of you think you have time right now. Like, oh, I can wait. I can go and party and do all of this now. But you don't have that time, man. The power's in now. It's now o'clock. It's no opportunities wasted. Investing now. Invest now. Get around the people who have the lifestyle you want now. Don't wait. You know, some people won't even think twice about paying $400 for a dinner, but won't pay that for an ebook, right? So here's the thing. You have to invest. You have to invest that money into yourself, right? Because, man, again, you're getting borrowed confidence. You're getting a mentor, somebody who's really, you know, doing something, really making moves in this space. And then you get around the individuals. A lot of people don't understand with mentorship, right? The biggest thing about mentorship is not necessarily about the mentor. It's the environment, man. It's the people around you, because here's the thing. You're doing a disservice to your business partner that's waiting on you in that mentorship, because you have something they don't have and they have something you don't have. So, man, the power is in now. I lost my sister because I didn't take the time out to, I lost my sister and I didn't take the time out to see her. And that's essentially a lot of you guys' careers right now. You're saying next week I'll be great. Next month I'll be great. You know, everybody always say next Monday I'm gonna go to the gym.
New year, new me.
And then new year, new me. January, you know, you have your that's why the gyms are always packed. You know, the gyms are always packed in January, right? Because they say my New Year's resolution is to cut down. By February, it's empty again, right? Because we don't fully commit. So I just wanted to leave you guys with that.
When you pay attention.
Yeah, yes, sir.
100%. And then, you know, last thing I would say to, you know, the younger version of me or people watching it that want to be, you know, better than me, same area as us, whatever the case may be, just get started. Like we talked about, time is of the essence. You got to get started. Why not now? Why wait, right? And then when you get started, commit to something and do so much work that it's impossible for you not to be successful. Do so much work that it's impossible for not to be successful. A lot of us, we got to be real with ourselves and look in the mirror. Are we really doing enough? Are we really taking the chance that we need to be taking, right? And then start to think in a perspective like this. If you remove fear from the situation, how would you attack life? If you knew that everything you put your heart into, you would succeed, how would you go about that thing? We got to stop moving scared and become comfortable being uncomfortable, right? So I would just say those are some things I would just leave you guys with and just execute. You know what I'm saying? The life you want is there. There's a version of you that's already living that life. But you know what they doing every day? They showing the fuck up. They waking up, they going to the gym, they're in the books, they pay for that course, that mentor, they're executing, they're marketing, right? They're consistently reaching out to people. They're making new content. They're doing everything you're not doing, and they're winning. And that version is just your alpha version. It's already there. It's you against you. It's always gonna be you against you. You just gotta wake up every day and don't let that alpha version outwork you. And that's literally how I live life, man. So it's powerful.
That was good.
All right, so we're gonna wrap this up, man. I've been good. These guys have been great. Another open discussion with some greats in the credit space. If you got anything from this, just execute, like, and subscribe. Peace. Get it.